Well, hello friends, and welcome to another video. This is yet another bag of yarn, at least the 5th since the beginning of the year. Well, we've been contributing to small businesses across the nation. This is yarn that's just for weaving for the Weaver Birds, my Patreon group. We call them the Patronesters. Anyway, the Patronesters, I give away a lot of hand-woven stuff to as snaffles, as we call them, which are raffles, but snaffles because of the algae ribbons, which are the algorithms. We have a lot of workarounds on the internet these days. The times, they have changed since the Y2K pixel pet internet. Anyway, it has come to my attention after I made something for one of our mini Weaver Birds that some of the regular Weaver Birds might also be allergic to wool and animal fur products, which is something I had initially overlooked. Oh, good. The haunted ice cream truck is going by that only plays Christmas music. Yep, a child is born. It's February. He continues this until July. We've never bought ice cream from him. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, we have the yarns, and this is all cotton and linen yarns, and I think silk. Struggling to remember and very distracted by the haunted ice cream truck. Anyway, I thought we could open it and weave it together because my brain was trapped on that 2 weeks ago when I ordered this. My God, did you actually stop for once? Is someone actually buying ice cream for the first time in 6 years? Why are you so loud? Go away, ice cream man! Demons. Anyway, it's reef themed because that's what else. My body knows nothing else. So we're gonna weave a reef out of cotton for a raffle for the Weaver Birds. Yep, that's everything. And we're gonna open it together because that's fun. And I am gonna wait until the ice cream man is deceased or has exited to haunt another portion of the neighborhood because that is highly distracting. I remember to turn it over so I wouldn't reveal my direct address to you, even though many of you know it. Please don't murder me. I don't have time for that. And you'll be very disappointed if you try to swat me. There's nothing here. And I will mostly just cry. All right, let's see our reef colors. How exciting. This I got just in case if we needed a ripply water effect. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we do warp floats up the center with the bright colors on those warp floats so that they stick out like little sprinklings of color amongst the reef. In between the warp floats, we will have sand colors. So it's like they're sticking out of the rocks. Meanwhile, the wefts, yes, the wefts will be ocean colors getting from darker to lighter as they go up. And then I could always weave in some of this so that it was twinkly as it got higher in the light column. Hopefully everyone's following me on that. All right, we have coral color. Coral color. Oh, this is the one where you get all of them in a row. Perfect. These ones are going to be the wefts, starting at the bottom. Wefts. These are the warps. Ooh, that one's pretty. This one's modal in silk. That was considerably more expensive, but I liked the texture. And then we have the sand. Ooh, I really like this one. This also was not cheap. Cotton, very expensive. Evidently more expensive than sheep. Sheep just grow it and run around and eat grass. Like the cotton, you have to grow it and then keep it as a pet for months. All right, and then we have this beautiful floofy yellow to also be a warp float. And then we have, oh my, I don't remember that being so big. Wow, okay, well, we'll have one really fat warp, or I will save that for something else. Oh, good, another fat warp. Why? How wide is this? How many warps was I going to put this thing on? I'm going to have one warp of each of these left. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. The amount of mug rugs I'm going to have to make to recover from this. Oh no. All right. Well, here's our coral yarns. Hooray. This, I'm sure, won't be folly. Anyway, yeah, I'll let you know when I'm warping her up, and we'll video part of that at least. These are much, much fatter, Erica. What did you think you were gonna... Now you have to use the big fat... You gotta use the 8 set, not the 10. No, we gotta have to use the 10, not the 12. For heaven's sake. Well, anyway, we'll work it out, and I'll see you when we're working it out. All right, we finally made it to the front of the house. I wanted to give you a debrief before we get started. I'm going to direct warp it from there, and then I have a chair across the room that I wrap it around. Now, I have learned that it's good to double up and be on a whole part of your heddle for the very edge of your weaving. That has been helpful in tidy edges. However, I have learned that if you only do one color in that hole, like one strand of color in that hole, somehow that one always is like 300% looser than the whole rest of the warp. I can't explain it. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. So we're going to have sand on the outsides, and then we're going to have this fuzzy sand in between the warp floats, which will be all these fun colors doubled over, because this is the big fat heddle. I think it's 10 tenths an inch. They need to use more formal words because it's dense, it's reeds per inch, it's a whole thing. Anyway, so this one's going in the middle. This is our cotton weaving, just to remind you and myself. And then this one is the one that won't get doubled over. I mean, I guess I could double it over because it's going to be going in a slot, not in a hole. So if you have a yarn that's fuzzy, just like to let you know this, if you put it through the holes, it's going to get massaged by the heddle every time you pull it down, and it's going to shed, and it may or may not work its way through the yarn and destroy it. That has happened to me, and I've had to take it off, remove just one section of warp, and continue. It wasn't fun. Anyway, so, but if it's in a slot, you can fit a floofier yarn, and if I doubled that over, then it would really pop off of the fabric. We'll see. I don't know. If I want to make 2 of these, I don't think I can double over everything. Either way, then what we're going to do is the wefts are going to be all the blue of the ocean. This is the rocks of the sea. Hopefully that makes sense. And now I'm going to put on music whilst I warp this, at risk of a cat screaming at any moment during this entire process. We've been lucky in this 3 minutes, so let's get going. did it. What in the ever-loving God gets into me? Well, we will see if the springiness of this particular one, this one I think is going to be a problem. This springity stuff. Anyway, we'll work it out. Did I make it over long? Yeah, probably. I had the brilliant idea of wrapping it around the back of the chair for more even tension. And then I had to get counterweights because it started dragging my 120-pound table across the floor. It's fine. That's my community bookshelf where anyone can borrow from it who visits my house. That's like 4 people, but luckily they all like books. Anyway, it's warped now. And now I will find a husband with a willing forearm to hold that whilst we roll her onto the back beam. And if you're a Stephen King fan, all roads lead to the beam, and all warps lead to the beam as well. All right, I'm a little tired, and POTS symptoms are kicking in, so I'm gonna go sit down because I'm sweaty. All right, we've made it here. Now, I'd like to preface that I don't like to work with cotton or non-universally boingy yarns. This is not universally boingy. In fact, as I showed you when we started, I did not expect this to be boingy at all, and it was. Anyway, this is now thick and feels a bit like those ones we used to make as kids with the little stretchy pieces on the loom. Is she dense? You could lift things out of the fire with her. She's going to, yeah, anyway, that's fine. I have, let me show you the other wefts. I'm getting a little, I can't, it's been a lot. The grippy yarn was gripping. Okay, so we have regular dark, and this has become a basket weave now because I got so worried about the boingy fabric having more to take up, so it'd be less boingy. So now this is a basket weave. Using twice the yarn that it needed to in both directions instead of just a half basket. So we have the darkest, and then I've mixed the next color, and then the next one going up. This could look terrible. I could have made a terrible judgment mistake on this, and we're about to find out if that is the case. Anyway, it should be, well, it'll be interesting if nothing else, and my attempt to create a woven coral reef begins. This is gonna look chaotic, isn't it? This is not gonna be good. I'm afraid to start. I don't want to start it now. It's bolted to the table and I can't do anything else until it's done, so is there a good enough reason for me? Let's do it. Okay, I just have been looking at it for too long, and also because of the warp floats on the front, that means there will be weft floats on the back, which means the blue will stand out a lot more. So we might just be working this back to front in secret. We just didn't know we were doing that to start with. Things I could have done: adding blue to a few of the warps so that they read more blue, adding much darker rock colors. There's just too much. It's too many light family colors. It's too checkery for it to be a reef. However, in order to not cry, I'm going to stick with it. And also, I'm going to think of it like this. It is also nice because the colors are not hideous together. Like, I didn't make something horrible. It is going to be, well, it may never dry, but it will be warm. And we're going to go with it. I'm not going to panic. I think it'll look better from the other side, to be honest. I think I just don't have enough blue. I think this is freaking me out. This whole area. No, it's still weird as we go up. Maybe as the blue color family changes, it will look less terrifying. It's okay. We're not gonna cry. We're not gonna cry. We're just gonna keep on, keeping on. I'm anxious about this. This is like $98 in yarn, just like right here on the beams. Okay, well, let's continue. We did it! We survived! Hooray! It was fine. So what I didn't know was gonna happen, you can see here that my warps on the outer edges always end up way looser. Haven't figured out what it is other than specifically this time. This was the least boingy of all the yarn. All of the other yarn had a bit more boing to it, and also I think the straight line going around from I should start my like warp beam further in is what I should do, so that it is like it's like shortening the distance that it needs to get to the other end. Because I'm direct warping, which normally you would do with just one yarn, which would be smarter, it wouldn't be such a problem. But because I'm mixing in the boingy yarns, it is a problem. And the distance in length becomes more and more exaggerated by the back beam. So that's why I made it such a long warp, was to account for the fact that it was going to go at the end because of the non-boingy edges. It was actually really nice to work. It's the most I've ever liked cotton, to be perfectly frank. And while it does not read exactly as I had hoped it would read closer to that had I used this darker sand color for the whole thing and thrown some sparkle warps in so that it was like a little more blue-brown as the background base rather than the pale sand color. It would read more to what I was hoping for. However, it does look a bit like a 1940s Italian beach chair. And it's very dense, so it's going to take forever to dry. And, or, if you go into the desert, you could get it wet and then it will evaporatively cool you for quite some time. Anyway, I thought I would cut it off whilst we're standing here together, because I have it unbolted from the table so that I could do the hem stitch more easily. But as you can see, I left quite a bit on the beam, which will just become nice long fringe because I left quite a bit on the front as well. But that is a problem I noticed. So the next time I warp in such a way, when I'm direct warping like this, I will try to start my warps angled in. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to flatten this out. Angled in further so that there's less of the slack specifically on the outer edges, which, because it's on the outer edges, it doesn't get stacked up as much as the ones in the middle, and therefore it doesn't get used up as fast as it's being wound onto the beam. Alright, let's cut her loose here, and then we'll go back and I will be... Oh, I need a big scissor for that. Please hold. Big scissor. Come to me, friend. Found him. Okay. And then we will twist all of the fringes, and then we'll get a final look, as it were. Very satisfying. Cut off. Okay. And now let's get it back on the table so we can unwind her. Free yourself. Let go. Madam? Madam. Thank you. Alright, moving this so that my gear can turn freely. And let's get a look. So we went from the lightest here. Oh, these are really loose when you let them free. Okay, that's fine. It's an education every time we do something new. So the very lightest, we have the just doubled up watery wefts. We have the very lightest. Then we have mixed the next lightest with the watery sprinkle wefts. That's that one. And then we have the next color down. And then I did half and half on those. This is, I think, where it was closest to what I was getting at. Specifically in this really bright turquoise area. That's the closest we got to what I was thinking in my head when we started this. This whole area, very nice. Very nice. And then it gets a little weird because the blue gets a little dark. A little weird. And then we got to the sand. And I'm pretty here for that, actually. Let's untie the back. Well, this is the front beam, not the back beam, actually. And we shall, oh my god. We will untie these and then I will get to the twisting. Hopefully, whoever wins this is not planning on washing it often, because you will have to dry it in the sun for 5 to 7 weeks. This is really dense cotton. Like, it's nice, it's fancy yarn, but she thick. I like it more now that I'm looking at it. I'm glad I continued and powered through. I don't know, what do you think of it? Let me know where you think I went wrong. Or right. I mean, you can let me know if you like it. I'm not offended if you don't like it. I don't like lots of the stuff I make. And that's alright. It's all learning, and that's all that we're trying to do. I think my main thing, yeah, I think the sparkle warps through the middle would have been really good. And darker ones in general. Alright, well, I am going to finish this because I'm not sure I have too much more to say till we're done. I'm actually more than anything shocked at how easily it went. That's well, you know what that should teach you is that buying the fancy cotton is important if you want it to look nice. Don't buy cheap cotton yarn if you want to weave with it, for one. And two, leave yourself lots of extra, because it's going to be weird, because direct warping with a bunch of different springy yarns is also weird. But I really had the least problem with that. I kind of just like aggressively stretched them during the warping process. I'm sure that's ill-advised. I'm sure someone who is trained professionally would tell you not to do that, but I'm not. I am a goblin-informed and godless heathen. Alright, once I get this off, we will cut the ends off even and get to making the fringe, which hopefully will not take 3,000 years, because there's only I sewed the hem stitch in 4 packs, so hopefully that will go swiftly. How did you stay free? No, you're in there. Sometimes I'll miss just like one set of warps. Well, I've managed to talk to you through this anyway. I do appreciate that, and if this is your particular brand or you've made it this far, leave a comment if you would, or throw me a like or a subscribe if you've made it this far along in the video. And I will be looking for your comment when I snaffle this off to the group. Oh yeah, we can do some real serious fringe action on this thing. We got all that room for fringe. Alright, let's see how long this thing ended up. How are you all still so holding on to this? Let go. You don't want to live here anymore. Thank you, everyone. Alright. Alright, one last run through here. Sand, the deep waters, and the medium waters, and the lighter waters. Oh god, this is so long, it's a beach towel. And the lightest waters at the end. It is, oh, it's longer than my wingspan and taller than my husband. I'm holding it up past my body. Oh, sweet Jesus. Well, this is a very large thing, and I hope you're all looking forward to wearing this. I think. Okay. See you in the twisting segment. Yay, we did it. And noted, as we discussed before we began, when I was panicking, the back is much more blue because it's the weft floats as opposed to the warp floats. So the back is much more blue than the front. They literally look like different fabrics. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. 1, 2. The back is even more dramatic. Here's like the darker area. And different fiber. Wild. So it is more watery on the back, we could say that. And here's the sand at the bottom. Now, when I say this got much larger than I thought it would, it's like 8 feet long, and we're gonna wash it on hot. Maybe warm. I don't want to... Look how floofy these got when they were off of the warps. They poofed up so nicely. It's so big, you guys. It's so big. Okay, let me show you how big it is. Yeah, it's real long. It's so long. Just hold that there for a moment. I'm not sure a better way to show you how much this is. This would make such a nice chair shade, don't you think? Yeah, I'm gonna wash it on hot, and we'll see if we can shrink her up a bit. She a big girl. She's almost my wingspan folded in half. Congratulations to the person who wins this albatross of a scarf. There's no good way to show you. It's long. Anyway, I'm gonna go wash her and block her, and then we'll be done. Hooray! We survived! Foment chaos. Anyway, she's real long. Dun, 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 dun. She's done. It dried in 24 hours with a full-time fan and a dehumidifier. So if you win this, that's how long you should dry it for. I'm really proud of how this came out, actually. It looks wildly different front to back. This is actually the top. We're working our way to the bottom here. The front to back looks super duper different. I think that the front looks best as we get to the darker colors, and the back looks nice in general, I think. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think of this kooky thing? This is the only part that feels a little bit like a towel, because it's just not as fluffy. And I put the fuzzy yarn. Oh, I missed a tail. I'll get it. I put the fuzzy yarn as a weft as well, so it's extra fuzzy on that section. So this is the only portion that feels like a towel. The rest is quite squishy and very nice. I'm pleased. It ended up about 7 feet long. Oh, here, I'll flip it and give you a tour of the back. Here's the back. It looks very different from the front. Again, looks like very fun stripes down at the bottom on the back. And then we go up through the water column, up through the... It's still pretty long. It's 7 feet long. It's an opus. That's what it is. But I'm very pleased with, I mean, it's darn near well blocked. It still had to hang off of the table a little bit. You know, it's done. And it's real long. And now it's going to be yours, one of you. So congratulations. And now I'm going to take some beauty photos of this. And then it's officially done. And I appreciate you sticking with this very long video, first of all. And I hope that you will attend another said chaotic video. It's a hoot over here. Ooh, this looks all like kind of jewelry on the back. All right, well, I'll get some pretty pictures, and thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!